What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hey, I'm Lo and my husband and I are working on paying off a six-figure student loan debt, and I make all kinds of videos here on my channel talking about our personal finance journey and just personal finance in general. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you our July budget recap. This is actually my first budget recap that I am doing on my channel. So far, I've shown you guys what our budget is at the beginning of July and the beginning of August, and now that July is over, today I'm going to be sharing like that recap of how our budget went in July. So let's take a look at our July budget. So this is our budget spreadsheet. If you like the spreadsheet that I'm using in today's video, I actually have it available for purchase in my Etsy shop, which is linked in the video description. It comes with a monthly net budget spreadsheet, a monthly gross budget spreadsheet, and an annual budget spreadsheet for net and gross income. It is an instant download to Google Sheets. So I've got some things blocked off here, and you know, I share like 99% of everything with you guys, but there's just like that little 1% that I want to keep private. And also, like, this is my household budget, my family's budget, not just my budget, because I am married and I have a daughter. And so while my husband is totally comfortable with me sharing whatever I want to on my channel, I just feel like I want us to have like a little bit of privacy. So anyway, for that reason, I have all of our income blocked off, but you can see that this month we had budgeted that we were gonna make $8,620 and we made $9,901. So that was a difference of $1,281, which is a huge difference. And you can bet that all of that went to debt payoff and investments. None of it went to, you know, just miscellaneous spending. So that was really good. We ended up being able to pay a lot more towards debt this month than I thought we were going to initially based on our budget. So I'll get to that in just a second. And then after the income section, there's this pay yourself first, which is where we put anything for retirement or savings or anything like that. So this month we had planned to put $336 into our brokerage account, and we put $855. I should really say you guys put an extra like $500 in my account, because I got a bunch of referral bonuses from you guys using my link to sign up for M1 Finance, and so that was the biggest difference in that number specifically this month. I think I put like $100 into my Fidelity brokerage account and $200 to M1 Finance, and I think like $25 to my Acorns account, and then the rest of it was all referral bonuses. So M1 Finance is an investing platform. I just use it on my phone because they have a great app that you do from your phone. And right now the deal they have going is if you use my referral link and you sign up for M1 Finance and you deposit $100 onto the platform, that you get $50 and I also get $50. So it's an amazing deal. It's for a limited time, I believe. Last time I looked, it said it was stopping in September. I don't know if that'll get extended, so you've got like another month if you want to take advantage of that. And I made a whole video talking about just investing for beginners and exactly how I use my M1 Finance account, and I will link it up here if you want to check that out. So thank you so much for using my referral link. I am so grateful for you guys using it. Like, I was like shocked with how many referrals I got. Okay, and then for my daughter's college savings account, we budgeted $50 and we put in $50. Next, for the debt section, we've got 3 debts: my husband's student loan, my student loan, and our home equity line of credit. So we are paying the minimums on the student loans for now while we are paying off the HELOC, and then once the HELOC's paid off, we will put extra towards the student loans again. So this month for the HELOC, we had budgeted $400 and we were able to put $1,225 to the HELOC. So like I said earlier, our income was much higher than we had anticipated, so that mostly went to debt payoff, and then some of it went to like the brokerage account like I just talked about. Okay, scrolling over to the fixed expenses. You know, there's not much to say about these. Life insurance was under by $21 because I thought I was gonna continue a life insurance plan for my employer, but it ended up being so bad that I applied for different life insurance, and I think I'm gonna talk about that more later after it's all set, but that's why it's a little bit off. Usually these fixed expenses, they're pretty they're pretty fixed, so there's not much of a difference in this like difference column. They're not really going to see a lot of fluctuation. And then also we spent $12 less in the subscriptions because we finished a show we were watching on Showtime, and so I ended that subscription and we didn't get charged this month. And then for unexpected, we had budgeted $50 and we only spent $20 on unexpected. And I just want to say, like, that's why I love sinking funds, because in our budget, usually like the unexpected or miscellaneous category is pretty low, and like to have $20 of miscellaneous expenses for the whole month for a family of 3, I feel like that's pretty good. So that's why I really love sinking funds. And you'll see, like, we don't have a ton of money in our sinking funds and we have a lot of them, but it's what I need to stay organized and not have these like extraneous expenses bust our budget every month. Okay, so this whole category was under by $63, which is great. And these categories were over, meaning we contributed more to debt and to savings than we had budgeted for. So that's all good stuff. Okay, coming down to the sinking funds, this is where I have some stuff blocked off, and I'll explain what's blocked off. So this column is the starting balance in each fund, and a sinking fund is basically like, if you've heard of cash envelopes, like you have different cash envelopes for groceries or for, you know, personal spending or for Christmas or for gas or whatever. If you do that through a spreadsheet, it's just like a digital cash envelope. That's how I like to think of sinking funds, and just like kind of makes sense to me conceptually that way. Anyway, so this right here is the starting balance of all of our sinking funds at the beginning of the month as of the 1st. And I have them all blocked off just because, like I said at the beginning of the video, I just feel like I want certain things to be like private. So the only one I don't have blocked off is our emergency fund, our like mini emergency fund, which is the portion of our emergency fund that we actually keep in our checking account, because this whole budget I do out of one checking account. So that had $10,000 in it to start, and we didn't budget to put anything more in it, and it had $10,000 to end. So that's that sinking fund. So I've got the ending balances blocked off here as well. And then I've just got my husband's spending sinking fund blocked off, and my daughter's, just because like that's their thing. I just don't want to like put them on blast all the time. But other than that, I'm going to show you guys what we spent from our sinking funds this month. So we budget $1,000 for groceries, and that's how much we actually put into that fund. And then we spent $1,037. So we were pretty close to on budget. That may seem like a lot for groceries, but that's groceries, any takeout, and any household items like batteries or toilet paper and things like that. Next, I'm gonna jump down to my spending. So I get $200 every month for personal spending, and I only spent $33, which sounds really good. But the thing is, my fund was negative from prior months because I did a big purchase of clothing at Abercrombie like 3 months ago and used up my fund for like several months. So I was negative. Now we're getting back to zero. So I only spent $33 because really I'm like out of money and trying to catch up. Next, we've got baby number 2. We put $50 into that sinking fund and didn't spend anything because we don't have another baby yet, but I don't want to put anything on a credit card for any future babies. So we are trying for baby number 2 right now. So we're putting $50 aside every month to kind of get ready for that when that baby eventually comes. Next, we've got Miles expenses. Miles is our cat, and we budget $150 a month for him, but we spent over $400 this month because I did a big order of food for him. He eats this special prescription food, and sometimes it's been unavailable, so I like to purchase a large amount at once just to make sure we're not gonna run out, and I do that like a few times a year. So he stocked up on food for like 4 or 5 months. And this cat food purchase is a really great example of why I love using sinking funds, because our cat on average, you know, throughout the year, if you divide everything we spend on him divided by 12, we really only spend about $150 a month on him. But this month I needed to place a $400 cat food order, and so it's just nice having a sinking fund for that because it just comes out of his fund. And so I have the room to do that because it's not like this large bill that we have to then figure out how to pay for it. We've got money that we've been putting aside for him all throughout the year. Next, we've got gas. We spent right on target for gas. Next, we have gifts. We had put $100 into that fund. This fund is quite negative right now, but like, you know, you guys can't see that, but just being honest, it's negative because we spent a lot on gifts the first half of the year. So we spent $27 and it's still kind of negative, but that fund should catch up in the next few months. Next is home decor, budgeted $25 and we spent $40. And then house maintenance, we spent $97. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys know about this already. So my tub drain broke, like the little spring that makes it open and close broke, and so it needed to be replaced. And you know, pre debt-free journey, I would have just called the plumber and been like, I don't know how to do that, and I don't want to have and I don't want to figure it out and I don't have time, and let me just call the plumber, and would have spent like probably 200 bucks on a plumber or more to have them replace a drain. But I just Googled it and I found this YouTube video and it showed a guy doing it and it took like 3 minutes. It was a 3-minute video, and I'm like, I think I can do that. So I went to Lowe's. It took me 2 trips to Lowe's to get all the right stuff, but I did get all the right stuff and I did it myself. I didn't even have my husband help me. I unscrewed it and got the new one in, and it works great, and I was so proud of myself. So the supplies for that project was only like 40 something dollars, and then asked you guys on Instagram if I should pay myself $50 for that, which I was gonna put in my brokerage account, or if I should just leave the money for like future home expenses. And you guys voted that I should pay myself $50. So I did. So actually $50 of this went into my brokerage account. Next, one of our, I think it was our water bill was due this month. So we put money aside every single month for our town sewer and water. Town water is like quarterly and sewer is twice a year or something like that. So it averages out to about $85 a month. So we paid that bill. And then electricity and gas was a total of $209 this month. So actually, I talked about this in my August budget. We're using a lot less electricity this year than we were last year, and I did my like sinking fund budget off of last year's bills, and so I had been putting aside $350 a month, but there's kind of a lot in that sinking fund, and I don't know that we're gonna need quite that much. So going forward, I lowered this down to $300 a month, and hopefully that will be enough for our utilities. So you can see we budgeted $2,510 for sinking funds, and we actually put that exact amount into our sinking funds. We spent $2,391 from our sinking funds. And then you can see at the start of the month, our total sinking funds was $10,700, and then at the end it was $10,819. So if you take out that $10,000 emergency fund buffer, then you guys can see that we started out the month with $700 in our actual sinking funds besides the emergency fund, and we ended the month with $819 in the sinking funds. So the goal for sinking funds for me generally is for them to go up every month, but the thing is they're meant to be spent too, so they're not always gonna go up. Some months our sinking funds balance goes down, but that's again because they're meant to be spent. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, our miscellaneous budget, we only spent $20 in miscellaneous funds, and in our sinking funds we've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got like 16 sinking funds for $819 worth of money. And so, you know, there's not like that much money in most of these funds, but it keeps us on track and it keeps our budget really clean and organized, so we know exactly how much we're spending in every single category. Okay, a couple more things I want to point out. You can see up here, the left to budget is 0 and the left to spend actual is 0. And that's because all of the money that we budgeted was put in a place in our budget, and then all of the money that we actually earned, all of this $9,901 was actually spent in one of these categories. So we know where all of our money went this month. The other thing I wanted to point out is right here, our actual checking account balance on the last day of the month was $10,819, which just so happens to be the ending balance of our sinking funds. So the difference is 0, which means our budget is balanced, or it's kind of like, you know, the concept of balancing a checkbook. You can see if, you know, you missed something, and there's a difference between what's happening on your budget and what is actually happening in your bank account. And then finally, my favorite part of this budget is my pie charts, which show, so let me just scoot them over like this. So this one is for what we budgeted for the month, and then down here is what actually happened this month. So you can see we budgeted 4.5% to pay yourself first, 37% to debt, 29% to fixed expenses, and 29% to sinking funds. So like maybe like a third was gonna go to debt and savings, and then 2/3 to fixed expenses and sinking funds, so expenses generally. And then what actually happened was better than that. So it was about half and half. So you can see here, like half the money went to pay yourself first in debt, and the other half went to sinking funds and fixed expenses. So that's pretty good. That's where I'd really love to see our budget, where half of our take-home pay is being used towards financial goals, and we're living off of the other half of our take-home pay. So we'll see if we can keep that habit going. So that is it for our July budget. I hope you guys enjoyed this recap video. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. It really helps out my channel. And if you want to see more videos like this from me in the future, then make sure you hit the red subscribe button. I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and I'll see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.